Alright, let's talk about H6. H6 is home. Now what I mean by home is getting home, getting to civilization, finding a way out of the situation you're in, or attracting attention of people to you that can get you to the situation, to get to you and help you and rescue you from the situation you're in. So once again, I'm going to revert you back to H1. If you haven't seen the other videos, or you haven't seen H1 yet, go back to that video in H1, which is heat. It's in the H1 heat section of my YouTube channel to get kind of up to date on what's going on here. Once again, quick overcap. We got our large extended pack that we're always going to have ready, take with us into an extended period camp. We're having a vehicle ready. From that pack, we could break it down into a day pack or a scout pack. And then we have our EDC items, which we carry on us at all times, regardless, that we can still do the same functions and perform the same task. So let's go over what I carry in my full kit. Once again, I'm going to show you a lot of items which are reusable, multi-use. Instead of carrying 100 items for 100 jobs, carry a few items for 100 jobs. And you'll see that from H1 to H2 to H3, and now we're on H6. You know, these pieces of equipment I'm using for each of them, so other than a very select few pieces of equipment that I don't have a reusable purpose, there's not much in my kit that can't be used for many things. So let's talk about our main kit, the main extended stay kit. Once again, I told you that I carry both a poncho and a tarp, and for shelter and for water keeping. I showed you why I carry two. Another reason I carry two is you notice one is camouflage. The poncho is camouflage, so if I'm in a hostile situation, I don't want people to see me, I can use that. But I can still carry, like I got a bright colored tarp, and the reason I carry that is for the purpose of signaling. Okay, if you're out in the woods and it's green where I'm at right now, if I want people flying overhead or people walking by, I want them to notice me and see me. I'm not going to wave something green camouflage, you know, or something I need something that's going to contrast with the environment I'm in. So I can use this tarp, and if you do the research, you can notice that there's different signals. There's actually signal methods for using these tarps to make because these are one side's blue, one side's silver. There's ways that you can make messages that, you know, most pilots understand certain messages. Most rescue pilots understand the definitions behind these certain messages. So if you research ahead of time, you can learn these signals. And then you would go to an open field and put that signal out, and if there's a rescue pilot or somebody overhead up above, they can see that and say, wow, there's somebody down there that needs help. So you know, for something to contrast and put a big huge signal, visible signal during daylight out, you know, I got my blue and silver tarp there. The next thing I carry in my pack is some kind of light source. I'm not going to use this all the time. One, it's battery operated, so I want to preserve this. When I'm out in the woods camping, I rarely use, you know, a flashlight, so the batteries are going to be pretty well preserved. But in an emergency situation, I need a signal at nighttime. You know, if someone's out in the woods, they're not going to expect seeing a light. If you're in danger, you need help, and you're shining a light, people are going to see that and say, somebody's out there, some human is out there, because there's a light. Okay, and there ain't no groundhogs and squirrels running around with flashlights. So have a flashlight. I also keep in my main pack some chem lights. I got a video I did a couple years ago on how to use these for a great signaling device to amplify the light. Yeah, you break this open and it doesn't put off much light, but there's things you can do to amplify it and make it better. Once again, my fire kit is being reused again because making a signal fire at night is going to attract attention. Making a smoke fire during the day is going to attract attention. So fire kit, completely useful, completely important for this kit. Next thing I have is metal objects. You know, I got my canteen cup and metal containers. They're multiple use for signaling too, because you bang metal together, it's going to be heard for a long distance, probably even longer than you can shout. Okay, so and what if you're injured? Say you're injured or something happens where you don't have the physical strength or the ability to yell out, but you hear someone in the distance and you want to get their attention. You start banging those metal objects together, they're going to hear you. And like I said, if it's a wood or in the wild or something like that, they're not going to, you know, think that some squirrels are out there having a sword fight. They're going to think that someone's banging metal trying to get attention. You know, or hopefully that'll draw their attention to you anyway, that they'll investigate. So those metal objects all have a useful. You can bang your knife or whatnot, your cups together to make some kind of noise it's going to carry out in the distance. Of course, your cutting tools, big kit. I don't have it here with me, but you have your axe, whatever, to cut down large amounts of wood, larger knives, split wood, to cut evergreen branches down or whatnot to build you a signal fire or a smoke generator. A whistle. I carry on my EDC kit, but as part of my entire kit, I got my Jet Scream whistle. Once again, another sound device. It's going to travel further than what you can yell. These things can travel up to about a mile, a little over a mile. Never had any way to test it, but that's what they claim anyways. But they're pretty loud, and they're going to carry a good distance. Two things I don't have out here which are important. They're actually sitting next to my computer right now. One's a signaling mirror. I got a signaling mirror, which are great. It's a multiple use item because you have it for both personal hygiene. You know, you need to check your face out, you need to apply makeup, whatnot. Whatever you do out in the woods is up to you, all right? But you got a mirror to do it. And you can also use that mirror for signaling. You need to signal an airplane or a car off in the distance to get someone else's attention. Once again, out in nature, naturally, there's not flashing, repetitive light sources. And that's what a signaling does. It helps you put out a flashing signal so people can see it. The other thing I don't have out here, which I should, is my Lanzetta compass, or a compass of some sort, because that's going to help you navigate out of where you're at. If you know your general surroundings, or you have familiarity with the terrain and stuff, you could navigate yourself out. And we're going to have navigation videos up in the future for anybody who's never actually used or worked with a compass before. Now, so that's the main kit. That's the main kit. Now let's say we want to break it down to just a day kit. With what we have for a day kit. Once again, I told you before in H1, we still have our fire kit from the day kit. We have metal objects. If you decide to take a canteen and you have your canteen cup with you, or if you decide to carry this bottle, you have this, and you have your cutting tool, which is important to use with the fire kit. But also you can use it to the signal with metal objects. That signal mirror, I'm going to carry that with my day kit also, for personal hygiene means, first aid means, and also for signaling. It's small, it's lightweight, don't take up much space. And the compass also too, I like to keep that with me, just so if I'm on a day hike, I can orientate myself. I can find my way to where I want to go and back quite easily with the compass. The whistle, it's on my EDC kit, so that's always going to go with me, and as well as a light. I might not carry my headlight, but on my EDC kit I do have a light, so I do have a light source to take with me. Or you might decide to throw, your headlamp or a small flashlight in your scout pack. Nothing wrong with that. You can design the kit however you want. I'm just showing you how I do it. So that's our day pack. That's the things we have in our day pack to signal. So we can start a signal fire, we can bang metal, we got a whistle, we got a light, and we got a compass. So all those things together, give us some good possibilities for finding help, attracting help, or getting out of the situation we're in. Now let's talk about the EDC kit. Things you always have on in case you get separated from your equipment. Like I said, my EDC kit's always attached to my body. I don't leave it down anywhere. I always have a few things in my pocket that are always going to stay in my pocket. Those being, I got my knife and I got my fire starting implements. And I got a lighter in my pocket, so I can start a signal fire if I have to, and a smoke generator if I have to. I got that whistle. It's always on my EDC kit, so I know that's at least something I always have. And I just dropped everything off my EDC kit. And I also have that little light. It's not much, but it's a little something. If I got people nearby me, a couple 100 meters away or something, I could be flashing that light, screaming, and doing what I have to, blowing the whistle and flashing the light. It gives you a visible and audible recognition. If it's nighttime and you're just blowing a whistle, they'll hear where it's coming from. But if you're blowing that whistle and you're flashing that light, they'll be able to pinpoint and zero in on you. So we have that, and then on my compass, I also have a compass on my EDC, just a little button compass, just to get general bearing. Obviously, I'm not going to do no, 15-point land navigation training course with this, but I can at least get my northwest, southeast bearings, and help orientate myself to where I got to go. So, and of course, I got my Shimano on me. I got my hat on me, I could be waving it, I could be signaling. You know, this is green and white, it's not really contrast, but at least it's something that I can give. You know, I open this up, I'm just waving my hand, that's not much to see, but if I got my shemagh and I'm waving this, you know, it's a whole lot more noticeable than just saying, hey, I'm over here. You know, of course, you got your light, you got your whistle, you're going all out, you're attracting attention. And then, of course, you know, you got the compass to help navigate yourself out. And, you know, before you go anywhere, this is, you know, one of the main reasons people do die out in the wilderness is because they get lost, or they get disoriented, or, you know, something happens, they go out joyriding on ATVs or hunting, and they just simply get lost and disoriented. You know, prior planning, you know, understand the area you're going. Understand, you know, you don't have to know every single trail and road, but if you're going to go out camping or hiking or hunting, you know, look at the map. Google Maps is great. There's maps on the internet. You can buy maps. You know, you can look at maps and just know that, okay, I know I'm going into this big giant woods, all right? And I know to my east there's this big huge river that just runs for miles and miles and miles and miles. I know over to my west there's this big huge mountain range, all right? Down to the south is the shoreline for the ocean or whatnot, or there's a big city up north. You know, print out that map, put it in a waterproof bag or something, or draw the map out. We're just right down, you know, east is big river, west is big mountain range, to the south is a big highway that goes 200 miles. Remember those things. So that way when you get lost in the environment, you know, just with that knowledge and having something like a button compass, if you get lost in the woods, you can know, oh, the shoreline's that way, the river's that way, the big highway is that way. It's that simple. It's that simple. You know, once you get past the mental roadblocks of being lost and whatnot, you know, calm yourself down. You know, do what you gotta do to calm down, get your bearings, and start working on getting yourself out of that situation. You know, there might be times where you have to sit there and wait. You know, if you're physically hurt or if the weather's so bad you don't want to be exposed to it, yes, then you have to hunker down and sustain yourself where you're at and signal. But be proactive in your survival and your survivability. You know, if you understand before you go out there where things are, you know, it'll help you out. You know, if you're in a foreign country, especially if you're in a foreign country, you go on a trip, you know, look at the map where you're going, so you understand where things are. That's the most important thing to H6. Is situational awareness. You know, that's one of the best ways to get yourself out of that environment is to know the environment and understand where things are. If you go out into the woods unprepared, if you have a bunch of friends that just say, hey, we're going to go hiking, we're going to go get dropped off in the middle of nowhere, and we're going to stay out there for a couple weeks and do whatever, and then we're going to get picked up or whatever, whatnot, we're going to go hiking and whatnot, and you don't look at a map and see where you're going, and you don't study the terrain and where things are in respect to where you're going, then you're setting yourself up for failure if something does happen. So take the time to study, take the time to look into what you're doing and prior plan. That's the biggest thing that you can do as far as getting yourself out of an emergency situation. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. One little final statement, that concludes my H6 series. This concludes my H6 series, or 6 H's of survival series, sorry. So I hope you enjoyed this series. I hope it helps you understand my 6 H's of survival philosophy, why I feel each one's important, the order I put them in, and also the kit that I designed. You know, it's just not me saying, I'm not saying you need to buy exactly everything I have or get exactly what I had, or even set up this kit exactly what I have. This whole year, getting to spring and summer of 2013, I'm trying to gear more to beginners and people who never thought this way or prepared themselves this way. And what this is doing is it's giving you a baseline of what to work with. Now I know there's a lot of people out there who are experienced. You know, I don't always go out in the field with it. I can go out with less than this, and I can go out and make primitive stuff. I can go out and eat off the land and make stuff I need off the land. I can do that all fine and dandy, but there's people out there who wanted to learn this stuff and haven't. And we need to be prepared before we go out, even just to learn. You know, what if you go out there to learn how to build shelter but it fails? And you're stuck out there now, and it's starting to rain or get inclement weather, and you need to get a shelter up. Well, if you prepared this way and you took stuff out, you have a way to do it. You know, the first time I ever learned how to build a debris shelter or a large shelter, I was failing at it. You know, if it would have got bad, I would have been stuck out there with a broken shelter. You know, but if I would have prepared before I went out there and had a kit set up, a modern kit set up, I'd be able to do it. And then what you do is you take this modern kit, you go out with it, you start learning things, and then you can say, oh, okay, I could do this now without modern means. I can take this out of my kit. And that's how you learn and develop and progress, until one day, you know, you can go out there with just a few little items, a knife and a fire steel. You can go out there, you know, ready to go with just a little pocket knife and a fire steel or something, and say, okay, I could do it all. And that's what I'm helping people do. I want you to go out prepared so something doesn't happen and you're not left out there unable to sustain yourself. So that was the purpose of these videos, and it's the purpose of my change this year, my philosophy. You've seen some of the stuff I've done in the past. I don't want to do I'm not going to do much primitive stuff at all this year. I want to do modern preparedness types of things, and also things that we could do on the fly and have prepared, because, you know, not every primitive skill can be used in every primitive situation. You have to be able to adapt. There's a lot more primitive skills you need to learn while being able to maintain yourself. You need to be able to maintain yourself with what you got and what you can take out with you before you can start deciding to not take things out with you. So, once again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Sergeant speaking, we're Vulcan Primitives. Thanks for watching.